Test, test, test. Alright. Which way am I gonna go? Am I gonna go up this way? I suppose I probably could. I'm gonna go up to this area. Oop. I'm off the beaten path. Not much in the way of animals out here tonight, that's for sure. Well, it would have been nice had the game given me the sound indicators so I would have known where that bear was. Oh, there it goes. Ooh, wrong call. We'll see if we can't call it back in. Boom. know how well I hit it, but we're about to find out. Non-vital hit, which means I hit it in the guts. There it is. Yep, right in the guts. And then I took its butthole out. Hey, what's up, Righteous Ringo? No, nothing in particular. Right now I'm just kind of making my way up this way. Then probably up around here. Across the lakes. That's about all I'm doing right now. Nothing in particular. I'm not going for anything in particular. If something crosses my path, it's fair game. But, no, nothing in particular. Supposedly the path is right here. There it is. Like I wandered across a bear earlier, and then just now that coyote. Shot that, and if I come across deer, I'll take them down too. Yeah. Beta build screwed up my level, so I lost 4 or 5 levels, I think, which is kind of a bummer. Man, I would kill for free look in this game. Hey, well, welcome to Call of the Wild. It's not vastly different from Classic. Mechanics are a little bit different, but it's not a totally different game. But if you got any questions, feel free to ask, and I can certainly answer them for you. As far as the level loss, well, that just comes as part of being in the beta build, really. It's just every time they push out an update, there's a chance it's gonna screw up your levels, and they recommend that you back up your saves all the time, but I just hadn't done it this time, so that's really my fault more than anything else. What do we got here? Nah. Not worth it. If a bear's in front of me, I'll shoot it, but I'm not gonna go chasing after it. Maybe if it's a big male or something, but not a female. Nice thing is, because you're going to be using rifles pretty much exclusively, you'll get your rifle skill up pretty damn fast. Did you pick it up on PC or console? Yeah, I mean, I like the shotguns, but boy, they are a grind fest. And until you get the slugs, they've changed them. They're better. They're better now than they were when they first came out. They're absolutely terrible, but you can actually get a 100% integrity bonus off of them now, which is nice. He's not going to come to me, not with my scent blowing right in his face. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother with it. Now that you get a 100% integrity bonus, you get more XP and money for each kill, so which translates into greater shotgun skill per kill. So you level up quicker, but birdshot and buckshot are still pretty terrible. The slugs are where it's at. Such a pretty game. Well, good, man. I'm glad you picked it up. It's a fun game to play. Definitely a relaxing game to play. It's low-key. There's not a lot of expectation when you load the game up, and you know, it's not hectic, and you can kind of set your own course and, you know, do whatever strikes your fancy that night. Like tonight, all I'm doing is just walking up the path. I don't have to hit a certain level. I don't have to complete a quest. I just go out and do whatever the hell I want to do, you know? It is dead quiet out here in the woods tonight. It's a little sad. How's the stream quality, by the way? Audio-wise and video-wise. I don't often stream to YouTube, so some things might not be the best they can be. Oh yeah, Dark Souls is definitely not what I would call a relaxing game. Not unless you're a psychopath, at least. Alright, cool. I'm outputting it at 720 at 60 frames a second. I don't know if that's what people are getting, but that's what's being output, so maybe 480 just because you're on mobile, yeah. Problem is I stream and play games on the same computer, so I can't crank the detail level up in the game all the way. I can run this game on, you know, ultra settings all day long. It runs butter smooth, but the moment I put it into OBS and try and stream, it drops frames. Not in game, but what OBS is outputting drops frames. So, and then you get the encoding through YouTube. It fools around with it a little bit more, and you get from 60 frames on my monitor to 20 frames or something on YouTube, something stupid like that. So I have to drop the quality levels quite a bit in order to get OBS to output it at this one 720p 60 frames that I want it to. I need something to shoot. Oh yeah, definitely. Whenever I upload, it's 1080. It's 1080 60, just because I can. But streaming, yeah, I don't know. I might be able to do 1980 or 1920 60 on YouTube, because YouTube will ingest a much higher bit rate than Twitch does if you're not partnered. So I mean, I could try that at some time to maybe put it out at 1080 60, just to see how that works. We'll crank the bit rate up to 9,000 or something like that. Oop, dear. It's just a doe. Come on, you're killing me, Smalls. And it's just the one, too. Yeah, no bucks anywhere. Yeah, I gotta get my consecutive harvest bonus up, so. Come to Papa. Okay, stop. Yeah, it could have been a better shot. I guess it still works. You got any questions about the game you want answered? Because you're talking to the right guy. That's for damn sure. I haven't heard specifically whether it will be coming to console. I do know it's coming out on the 17th. I mean, they gave you the other DLC on the console, so I can't imagine that they won't do it for the console. So whether it'll come out on the 17th with the PC version, I couldn't say. But I wagered a bet that it's going out for console as well as PC. They only just announced the pricing on it the other day, so in typical EW fashion, they play their cards pretty close to their chest. Even as beta testers, they don't tell us when stuff's coming out. I'll go to cabin. Yeah, I like Leighton Lakes a lot better than Hirschfelden for a couple different reasons. Chief among them being that when you start out the game, they give you a deer bleat collar and the roe deer collar. Now, in Leighton, the deer bleat collar will work for blacktail and whitetail, which you're going to find pretty commonly. So it's twice the amount of animal that you can get to respond to that call, versus in Hirschfelden, where all you have is the roe deer collar. That's all it calls, is the roe deer. That's it. And the jackrabbit collar for fox. Fox, to me, are definitely not a novice animal to hunt. They're certainly at least intermediate, because they're very crafty. It takes an awful lot of patience. You have to be almost totally invisible to the animal. They can't smell you at all. Fox are not easy to hunt. Even as somebody who has almost 200 hours into the game, if I hear a fox call, unless it's standing out in the open right in front of me, I'm not going to go after it. I'm just not going to do it. It's just not worth the hassle. The amount of time that you have to spend for it.
Do they come in and rush you?
But in Leighton, you start out with the deer bleat collar, and that'll call in 2 different species of deer, which are brain dead easy to take down. They're very simple to call in. Because they're a bigger species, you get more weapon score, you get more experience, you get more money for it. So I just find that Leighton Lakes is a much better reserve to start in as a new hunter. In addition, Hirschfelden is very, very tight quarters. There's a lot of really close forest that's basically all hills. So you get into brush that's, you know, like this stuff here, but you have a bunch of up and down hills, so it's a really close quarter shots, and that's just no fun to me. To me, that's just a pain in the ass. Whereas Leighton, you get these nice big long open lines of sight, especially once you get into the lakes. You know, these lakes here, you get these super long lines of sight. You can take animals down from 200 meters. So I just find Leighton to be a much more enjoyable map. That being said, Hirschfelden's pretty beautiful, but it's not what I would consider a beginner map. Sorry, that was a little long-winded, but in Siberia is definitely not what I would call beginner map either. Just because the musk deer you can't call in. What am I doing with my scope? Why is that a thing I'm doing? The musk deer don't have a call, so you can't call them in. The reindeer only respond to the antler rattler. Brown bear require quite a large gun, 7mm or 338 to take down. And the only other animals there are moose, which take a big rifle, or the Eurasian lynx, which is pretty much the fox, but in cat form. Yeah, you made a good choice starting in Leighton. Fox just they're not worth it. You get good money though, and you get like 1,000 for each fox ish, and really good experience, but they're small, they run fast, and they can smell you and see you from a very long ways away. They also don't come straight at you when you call. See, it's the thing is that foxes and coyotes don't come straight to you when you call them. Coyote will actually circle around the spot where the call came from so they can scope it out. So you kind of have to position yourself so that the wind is blowing right at your face, so that they don't go around you and get a whiff of you. You also kind of have to have some spatial awareness as far as where they are. Foxes are the same way, but they'll take forever to come into you. You can sit there for 10 minutes and the fox is not going to come any closer, and then it'll come a little closer and then it'll wait a longer period, and a little closer, wait a longer period. Me and this damn scope, it's just, you'll think they're gone, you'll stand up and you'll hear them yet. It's just frustrating. Not worth it. Yeah, so it's not considered sporting in real hunting, but brain shots kill the animal instantly. It's the same thing in game. If you are within, say, 50 meters, I'd say, roughly, and you're using an appropriate caliber rifle, you will be able to take the animal down instantly. Because a headshot is considered a spine shot. Spine shots are really effective. Matter of fact, for moose, that's the best shot to take, is a spine shot right at the very top of the shoulders. And they have big spines too, so it makes it easy to just take them down in one hit. Chests, like if you hit it in the chest, if you get a single lung hit, you're gonna chase it for a while. And depending on how far away you were and what caliber you were using, if you were using polytip versus soft point, you know, you could be chasing it for quite a distance. Heart shots will drop it instantly, but you really got to know where you're putting your shot, because if you don't hit it in the heart, you're just going to hit a flesh wound. It's only going to be a light bleed, and the thing is going to run all over creation. Yeah, it does feel a little cheaty, but I mean that's the way it is, you know. It's easy mode, and if you're looking to really pound out the kills, that's the way to do it. Ooh, we got a moose. Is that a female or male? Of course it's a friggin' female. But you see what I mean about late, and you get down here and you get these super long shots. Which if you're using the 7mm, which is a very flat shooting rifle, you can take down animals pretty easily. Let me see if I can sneak up on this female moose, and I'll show you what a good spine shot will do to him. If you can do a double lung shot, so if you're within 50 yards or so, with a soft point, the amount of damage it will initially do, plus the bleeding, the ticking bleed, will pretty much drop the animal right in its tracks. Gut shots are never acceptable, and flesh shots, obviously, they're not good. Alright, I'm gonna need to go this way, actually, because if I go around her that way, she's gonna smell me. Well, the rain will help cover up my footsteps at least. Logan Castillo, hi my friend, welcome to the stream. How are we doing on this fine evening? Yeah, no, 243 is definitely not appropriate for moose at all. You can kill moose with a 243. You can use the 243 to kill everything in the game. But the problem is, okay, so a lot of people like to assume that polymer tip is better than soft point. Like once you unlock polymer tip, you never use soft point. The problem is that they are good for different applications. Let me take the shot on this moose real quick, and then I'll describe it a little bit more in depth. That should be sufficient right there. Alright, so for a moose, right about there is good for a spine shot. They consider that a spine shot when she stands up. Like right around there is going to get you a nice spine shot. You got to be careful though. If you go too high, like if you go up here, it's just going to be considered a flush shot. Right there is going to be a heart. Just behind the shoulder, or just behind the elbow, double one, especially if you're using the polymer tip. Alright, let me take this shot. Oh, not quite the shot I wanted to take. See the spine shots. If you can hit them, we'll take the animal down instantly. I obviously didn't hit it properly. Now I can just sit here and wait, and that move should come back to me. Unfortunately, that's kind of something the AI is bad about in this game. Is if you shoot at an animal or spook an animal, give it 2 seconds, it'll come right back to you. Although she is limping quite badly. I'm gonna go after her. Unfortunately, it means I'm not gonna get a 100% integrity bonus, but whatever. I don't give a damn. It's just a female moose. Alright, so anyway, in terms of soft points versus polymer tip, if you're using a caliber of rifle that is not quite up to snuff for the animal you're going after, so for example, if you were using the 270, for example, to go after moose, you would use the polymer tip just for the increased penetration. If you were shooting at long distances with an appropriate caliber, use the polymer tip, because the further away from your rifle, the further away from your rifle the projectile gets, the less kinetic energy it has, and therefore the less stopping power it has. So polymer tips will give a greater initial damage. So best way to describe it is this: when the bullet hits the animal, the game calculates the initial damage that the bullet causes, and then it will also calculate a bleed damage over time and apply that to the animal as well. So if you use a polymer tip, that creates a greater initial damage but a lower bleed applied to the animal after that. Soft points are lower initial damage, greater bleed. Although there is a case to be made that soft points will make more damage right off the bat, just because of the fact that they spread out, but the game doesn't calculate it like that for some reason. So if you are going for big animals with a smaller caliber, use a poly tip. If you are shooting at short distances, Max Mendez, thank you for that subscribe. That's awesome. If you're going for shots over short distances with an appropriate caliber and you want to play it safe and go for double lung shots, go with a soft point. That will minimize the amount of running that the animal is going to do once you actually hit it. If you're going for spine shots like what I do, or you're shooting over longer distances, definitely go with a poly tip. Don't ever let anybody tell you poly tip is better than soft point, because poly tip is something to unlock after soft point. Oh, she's mad. I don't actually know if that's her. It's not. She's dead. Oh, she did. I'm working on the shot placement video right now, and essentially what I've done is I've used a camera tool for the game and taken profile shots of all the animals, and I'm overlaying where the lungs are, where the heart is, the guts, the spine, etc. So it's taking quite a while to edit, obviously, because there's a lot to it. But yeah, see, so I shot a little too high, so it basically avoided the spine and instead hit her right in the scapula. That's what it is. Sometimes you don't luck out. Sometimes you really have shitty luck. All right, I'm a little off course here. All of the hoofed animals in the game, blacktail, whitetail, roe, fallow, and red deer, elk, and moose, are all going to share basically the exact same shot placement. It's just the spots are going to be bigger or smaller based on the animal. Bear are going to be different. Coyote and fox are going to be the same. Bison are a totally different animal. Yeah, I mean, once you know where to hit an animal, it's pretty easy to put that shot there every single time. All right, back on track. Yeah, the AI and the animation for bears attacking you is sad, to say the least. They just run up to you and stop, and you walk away, and then they run back up to you and stop. I think, to be truthful, they cause more damage to you just by running into you than they do by actually attacking you. That being said, it's kind of a pain in the butt have to back away from a bear to shoot it, and so I generally try to avoid that if I can at all help it. Black bear 243 is okay if you're going to place your shots properly. 270 is better. 7mm is going to take them down in one shot and still give you 100% integrity. So this is my preferred loadout, the 243 and the 7mm. And the reason I use the 243 and the 7mm is 243 will give you 100% integrity bonus on everything in the game but Red Fox. And as I've already stated, Red Fox can suck it. And then the 7mm will give you 100% integrity on black bear and up. So black bear, red deer, elk, moose, and bison. I'll give you 100% integrity. So just these two weapons right here go a long way towards ensuring that you get 100% integrity on every single kill that you make. Uh-oh. It's getting to be nighttime out. You can swap out the 7mm for the 338, but that means you then have to tackle bear with a 243, and I'd rather not. Let me adjust something real quick. That subscription or alert seemed very loud to me. Alright, that should be fixed. That shouldn't be quite so loud and obnoxious as that now that I turned the volume down a little bit. I like bow hunting in the game. I think it's really fun. That being said, the compound bows in this game do not act like they do in real life, and they really do need some tweaking. They have a much shorter range than they should. So if you are under, I'll be generous and say 40 meters, you're not gonna, you're not gonna hit what you're aiming at. I'm sorry. Under 40 meters, you're fine. Over that, don't even bother. There's a random offset that's built into the arrow, so you'll never hit right where you're aiming unless it's point blank. So there's a variation into where the arrow goes inside a box, and that variation grows the further away from you the arrow gets. So at 5 yards, it's a certain percentage, but at 10 yards, it's like another 50% more, or 50% bigger of an area that it can cover. And it just kind of is this exponential growth of how big of a variation the arrow has in its flight path. In addition, you have drop off over distance added into that, calculated into that. And I'm not sure if the arrows in the game weigh 30 pounds, but at 30 to 40 meters, you have about a foot drop, if not more than that, which is ridiculous for compound bows. Compound bows should be able to throw an arrow 70, 80 meters and have enough kinetic energy and almost zero drop to kill a deer, no problem. But in the game, they just don't. Well, Thomas, thank you for that. I really appreciate it, man. I'm glad that I'm making videos that you enjoy and that you want to watch, and hope that I continue doing that for you. I think I waffled off on a tangent there for a little bit. As far as bows are concerned, I love using them as long as I understand that when I use a bow to hunt, it means I'm going to have to sit down in one spot, call the animals into me, and just know that I'm not going to be getting any long range shots. And that means that there's some animals I'm going to have to pass up, just simply because I can't take them from a distance. I don't mind that. I like the challenge that bows present compared to the rifles. The rifles to me are just kind of easy mode, and I just don't. Sometimes I don't like that. Sometimes I like to actually, you know, want a challenge. And after a while playing the game, once you hit about 30 to 35, level 30 to 35, not much challenge left in the game once you get everything unlocked. So I like the bows. They're very effective, especially if you're using the proper arrow. Do not buy anything, like don't buy the 5-pin sight. Just don't do it. Buy the 3-pin. The 3-pin is more than sufficient. The 5-pin is just a waste because of that aforementioned offset that's built into each bow. The CB70 is going to be your best bet once you unlock it, just because it has more kinetic energy, more dropping power. I find that at 30 meters, if you hit a deer in the chest with it, right through the lungs, it'll drop it right in the spot. So, it's a nice different way of hunting. Yeah, McGregor, once you unlock the slugs for the shotguns and you're using the pump action, that thing's a monster. Now, you don't get 100% integrity bonus on a lot of stuff in the game. Me and this friggin' scope. But yeah, it'll kill stuff super fast. And at decent ranges too. But again, you gotta get through the double barrel, the over-under, and buckshot to do it, and that's a chore. Well, I heard a male moose down here, but I don't see him, and of course I'm not high enough level to get the moose collar anymore, since my save file bugged out again. Space Wizard, what's up, my man? Doing just fine. How about yourself? Birdshot? No, birdshot's just terrible. It's just hands down, it's 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, is what it is. Birdshot is really meant for fox. Do you even see it? Maybe even roe deer, but basically just fox. Coyote, you're going to want to use the buckshot. Don't buy birdshot. Just don't do it. It's a waste of money. Because it's basically used for hunting fox. And if you're hunting a fox with a shotgun, you're a sadomasochist, because that means you got to get him in close, and getting a fox in close is I'd rather stick a wooden spoon down my throat. Hey man, that's not good. Do better. Cheer up. You get to watch me be bad at a video game for a little while and feel better about yourself. Yeah, no sign of a moose down here. Yeah, I don't even see any of this sign. Correct, Righteous. That's hunting pressure. So, if you remember correctly, this is where I've killed stuff already. And that creates hunting pressure in that area. And really all that means is that animals are not going to spawn in that area. That's basically what it means. Or if there's need zones in that area, they won't go to them. That's about all it is. Hunting pressure makes it seem like that's like a border that the animals will not cross into from outside of it, but this is not the case. It just simply means they're not going to spawn in it, and if there's any need zones, they won't go to those need zones. That's all it means. And hunting elsewhere relieves hunting pressure on the map. So if I kill 6 things up here, it'll remove 6 hunting pressure down here. Oh, lookout tower. There it is. Finally made it. An hour later. That's one thing I do really like about this game, is that the maps are so big that it feels like you actually have to put in some effort to go somewhere. Unless you, of course, obviously, unless you use the ATV. Which is just kind of cheating. No, animal calls will work inside the zone. So if there's an animal in the zone and you want to call it to you and you use your animal call, they'll come right to you. But literally the only thing it affects is spawning and the usage of need zones. That's it. I felt like they could have done more with that system. I feel like it really needs to be kind of tweaked, and that there's more that they can do with it to just make it something that has more of an impact on your hunting, so you're not trying to hunt in one area constantly. For the most part, I just ignore it. Alright, so there's an outpost up here. Let us go to that, and then once I get to that, I'll probably call the stream for the night. It is almost midnight here, and yeah, I'm tired. Worked all day. No, so it's worthwhile to use the lookouts to unlock the area or show you where everything is in the area. Hunting blinds, hunting stands, and the towers, don't bother. Unless you have a bunch of extra cash to burn, because they do give you experience when you unlock them, they are almost universally useless. Their placement, terrible. They overlook tiny little clearings and are surrounded by trees, and they just, overall, they are not very well placed at all, so they're not worth using in my opinion. You get you do get a bonus to how invisible you are to animals, but not enough to make it worthwhile, and you can just use the portable blinds. And so until they really revamp the stands and blinds in the game, I wouldn't use them. I would like to see, however, and Righteous will probably agree with me on this, placeable tree stands. That would be great to see. I would love to see placeable tree stands. I would love to see the addition of actual game trails onto the maps where, you know, you can tell the animals are traversing that area on a regular basis. So that you can actually set up a tree stand and catch them at, you know, give them time during the day. But for right now, the stationary ones, not worth spending the money on. Oh yeah, right. It's always a bummer when you lose an animal. Always a bummer, especially from a long distance too. That being said, you may not have lost them. It may have bugged out and just disappeared. That is the thing that still happens, sadly. Not as often as it used to. It used to be really, really, really prevalent, but it it's a pain in the ass when it does, especially when you know it's a good animal. Bam! Welcome to the Hunter Club. Did you get it on console or PC? Yeah, right. Just the other thing I would love to see added to this game are traditional bows. You know, recurves and longbows, maybe crossbows. I think that. Oh, I'm getting a little verklempt just thinking about it. Awesome, man. Well, I think you're really going to like the game. If you haven't already, definitely check out my Hunter 101 series. That'll give you a lot of really good information. The one thing that this game does not do very well is provide you with information on how to play it. It just kind of throws you into it and expects you to figure it out. That being said, and I don't know how complete it is on the consoles, but if you bring up your menu and you go to your codex, this will give you a lot of information on different stuff. The tutorial log, this is going to give you, you know, information on, you know, the different stuff in the game. That being said, the information they give you, as you can see, is very limited. You know, just the visibility topic alone would require way more than this, and I plan on going into depth with the visibility meter, the visibility system, and the sound system at some point. I touched on it in the first video, in the UI video, but I didn't go into super detail about it. I plan on going into full detail about those in terms of what affects them and everything else in a future video, that's for sure. Space, let's take a look. Not that. Is it the ambusher? No, I actually think it might be a perk. Maybe. Let's see here. Connect the dots. I think it might be a perk. So let's take a look at perks. Go into rifles and focus shot. Or it could be one of those ones that's just in a stupid place in the trees. There's some stuff that's really in some weird locations. Quick feet. Muscle memory, breath control, steady hands. Hey Ryan, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate that. I normally stream over at Twitch, but I was having some issues tonight, so I decided to come over to YouTube and give it a try. I do like the fact that YouTube can ingest a lot more bitrate than Twitch can, to get a little bit better quality stream. I'm watching the stream as I'm playing, but it looks like I'm getting a little bit of frame drop, so it's not quite coming out at 60 frames per second, but it still looks, you know, pretty decent, I think. I think you're right, Space. I think it's an activatable skill, isn't it? Maybe? Sight spotting. Unlocks the ability to spot animals while in aim mode weapons. This means you do not have to switch to binoculars or a rangefinder device to spot an animal. So, tier 2 in the ambusher tree. So, I went over this in the videos. As you can see, I put 8 points into the stalker tree and only 1 in the ambusher. That's because you really don't get any use out of ambusher until the later levels, because the first tier primarily works just with sense. Which I don't understand, because you don't really get sense until later on when you level up. So, spotting knowledge, this is a really good skill to have. Dazed and confused, I don't find that this is a very good skill. And then the more the merrier, more money from each mission completed. I don't like the mission systems anyway, so it's not really worth putting your points into it when you're just a wee little hunter. Wait till you get bigger and have some extra points to spare. Well, I'm glad you think so, Righteous. I mean, I felt like I could have gone into more detail with that, but I also didn't want the video to be stupid long. I think I even said in the video that I was going to cover them all individually. It was so long ago, honestly, I don't remember, but that's going to be my plan. Alright, so I got to here, I unlocked this cabin. I'm really hoping so, Bam. The fact that they have birdshot in the game tells me that they plan to do it at some point. When that's going to happen, I don't know. Like I was telling Righteous earlier, I'm a beta tester, and they don't tell me nothing. Until it's ready to be tested, we don't know anything. We have no idea what their game plan is, what their plan for releasing stuff is. No idea. But I would think it is coming to the game. They're in Classic, so it makes sense to bring them into this game. So I unlock this. Where should I go next? Maybe I'll go down this way and then come across here to Calburn. This is usually a pretty good hunting spot here. Yeah, so they did tweak the sense at some point. Sorry, I pushed the talk down to a button on my mouse and it wears my thumb out after a while. They did retweak the scents and the collars at some point. They dropped the price on them because they were very, very expensive, but then they never dropped the level requirement on them. Like, for example, the deer grunt collar, you don't unlock until 39, I think, and it does the exact same thing as the bleak collar, attracts the exact same animals, but has a longer range and less of a chance to actually work. I don't get that either. Same thing with the moose collar. You encounter moose way before you hit the level requirement to unlock the collar, which is 35, 36, something like that. It's the same thing with the scents. Actually, you know what? Why don't we head back up there and we will look at the store and find out, because it should tell me what the level requirement is. Maybe. Alright, so yeah, the level requirements are still fucky with this. So, for example, black-tailed deer. If you choose Leighton Lake as your starting reserve, I'm pretty sure that the first animal you will see is a black-tailed deer. Like, I'm pretty sure when you first load up a new game, the game puts one right outside of the starting area specifically so you can shoot it. But you need to be level 39 to get the black-tailed deer scent. 33 for the wild boar. You will encounter wild boar long before you hit 33. But moose and elk, you can unlock that before 32. Isn't that nice? Same thing with red deer. So I don't know, dude. Don't pay any attention to that. That's beta stuff. You're not supposed to see that. So yeah, the scents, they all have really, really weird level requirements. Same thing with some of the collars. Yeah, the deer grunt collar is 37. Moose collar is 35. Why? Deer grunt collar. Fixed white-tailed deer, black-tailed deer. Has a 250 meter range, 90-second duration, 25 attraction strength. Let's look at the deer bleak collar. Whitetail and blacktail, 150 meter range, duration 90 seconds, but the attraction strength is greater. It's 50 instead of 25. So shorter range, better attraction. Works the exact same animals. So I don't get it. Like, I almost wish that this stuff didn't have a level requirement, but instead worked kind of like the weapons do, where you need to have a certain skill level to unlock them. But I don't know. I'll have to go over the scents and collars in their own video. Scents are not worth using, in my opinion, because the wind has to be blowing towards an animal in order for it to work. So that means you need to use the scent cover up in order to do it. You have to, excuse me, sorry guys. You need to use the scent eliminator, and then you need to use the animal scent, and you need to position yourself in such a way that the wind is blowing directly at the animal, which runs counter current to everything that you've learned so far, which is make sure the wind is blowing towards you. Not really worth it. Alright, let's change the time, actually. Look at that beautiful morning. This is another pretty decent spot to hunt up through here. If I remember correctly. I think this is the place I'm thinking of. Maybe not, actually. Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, where am I thinking of? Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of here. There's a cabin right up here, and then there's a bunch of big open fields and everything in this area. Really long lines of sight, and there's usually herds of elk coming down through. Which I actually kind of want to go do. I kind of want to get to that area and unlock it. So we'll travel to this one. Alright, so I'm going to go southeast, take a left, and then I want to say it's right around this area here. Or maybe this area here. Or maybe this area here. I really don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while. Let's mix it up a little bit. I don't have the 3-pin sight unlocked? What's wrong with me? There we go. So put that on the handgun, put this on the bow. I really do love this handgun. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fun stream. Thank you all for coming out. I really appreciate to see all of these faces in the chat. Really means a lot to see you guys out here. I'm going to go to bed because I'm extremely tired, and my daughter will have me up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, regardless of what time I went to bed. And if I don't get my sleep, I will put her in a trash can and roll her down a hill and into the river. And I say that with the utmost of paternal love and affection for her. I love her with all of my heart, but sometimes I want to drop kick her through the wall. Anyway, thank you for coming out, guys. Really appreciate it. Great to see you all. Look for more streams from me on here. I enjoy streaming to Twitch, and I kind of want to stream to Twitch primarily, but maybe I'll start streaming to YouTube more in the evening. Just kind of get you guys all involved. Maybe I'll stream to YouTube on the nights that I don't stream to Twitch. Something to think about. Anyway, thanks, guys. Take care and have a lovely evening.